Kim Kardashian admitted during the new episode of the Kardashians that she's a lights-off girl, despite her career being launched with a sex tape 16 years ago. The 42-year-old reality star was at dinner with Scott Disick at Il Fornaio towards the beginning of the new episode, entitled Everything Is My Fault, where they were discussing the relationship between Cher, 77, and A. E. 36, which spanned from November 2022 to May 2023. She adds, "Are you dying over Cher and A. E. Alexander Edwards?" Scott agrees, "Absolutely. It's the best thing I've ever seen." Kim says there were reports that they were making out at a party, adding she would feel so insecure to make out with a new beau in public. Scott said maybe Cher is just secure, or has the lights off, as Kim admitted with a laugh, "I pretty much have the lights off now." Kim was then asked by a producer in confession, "You're a lights-off kind of girl. Is that true?" "Kind of, yeah. It's so weird. But then I can walk out of a photo shoot with 100 people working on set. I can walk out in a thong. But if it's you're there with me, I am wait, don't look at me. Turn the lights off." Back at dinner, Kim said she would put a blindfold on him, as Scott jokes about A. E. "I'll tell you right now, he's hitting that hard." The episode begins with Kim having dinner with Scott Disick, taking a break from her work on the Dolce & Gabbana campaign, where she serves as creative director. "I've been so busy with the Dolce & Gabbana campaign. There's so much to do before Milan, but I need some fun, and to just get out of the house," Kim says in confession. "I love hanging out with Scott. We're both single right now, so I feel like there's a lot to talk about and a lot to navigate," Kim adds in confession. While at dinner, Kim asks Scott how his back is after his car accident. Scott says he hasn't seen her out on dates or anything since her split with Pete Davidson, with Kim adding, "It's hard because, what do those first dates look like?" Scott adds that he can't imagine what a first date with her would be like, as she says it would have to be behind doors and they couldn't go out. "It's kind of awkward," she adds, as Scott compares it to the 1990 movie Pretty Woman, joking she must be a dirty little secret, but you're not. You're just a dirty little girl, as Kim laughs. She adds if she is seen with someone, then, if you are seen with someone then, if it's starting to not work out, you almost have to try to make it work a little longer because you're so embarrassed that it was so quick. Scott adds the headlines would read, "Kim K fails another relationship," as Kim adds in confession that she learns something from every relationship. "The one thing I learned from my last situation was the media made me feel like I was in a real serious relationship so quickly. I just want to sneak around a little bit. There's nothing wrong with wanting to sneak," she added in confession. She tells Scott at dinner that she doesn't want to date just one person, but she's never done that before. Scott asks if she's ever seen Sex and the City and Kim says, "I watch it every night to fall asleep," as Scott jokes, they were in the streets. They were catching sausage all over town. Kim adds that her friends wanted her to meet someone recently, and they went to New York, though they censored the name of Kim's spot that she goes to that has a private room downstairs. They show headlines speculating Kim was spotted sneaking out of a New York City hotel after visiting with her ex Pete Davidson, but she insists Pete wasn't there. But it was the place I would go and have my secret dinners with Pete, and he's probably like, I know what she's up to, Kim jokes. Scott says he won't even ask who the man is, instead calling him Fred, asking if he meets the standards. Oh, so meets the standards, yeah, Kim says, as they show Kim in confession, smiling while texting someone that she ultimately confirms as Fred. That's a lot of smiling, young lady, a producer is heard saying, and after Kim confirms it's Fred, the producer says, 2 years, my asterisk. The producer was referring to Kim's comments on Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop podcast in late December, where she said, I am taking my time. I really do want to be single for a few years. Kim insisted, no, I am going to be single. Though one of the other crew members insists, I know that smile. Back at dinner with Scott, he tells Kim she needs to find her Mr. Big, and hope he doesn't die on a bike someday. I just see you with an older, Italian businessman, Scott says, though Kim clearly doesn't want to date anyone older. But they can't be too old. I don't like the old thing. But I don't like the real young thing either, Kim says over her tea. The episode transitions to Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, who are getting ready for a photo shoot for Kourtney's new vitamin brand, Lemme. Today I am shooting Lemme Fall in Love with my husband. We didn't take Lemme Fall in Love to fall in love, but it's floral essences that you put straight in your mouth and it opens up your heart, Kourtney explains. Chris comes by to visit with Domenico Dolce and Gwen Sequeira, a Dolce & Gabbana ambassador, who just arrived in L.A. Kourtney asks what they're doing today and Gwen says, we're doing the tour, the grand tour, confirming they're going to Kim's office across the street. Seeing Domenico and Gwen just brings back so many great memories from him designing my wedding dress on me, Kourtney says in confession as we see flashback shots of Domenico making alterations when Kourtney was still in the dress. I've also been friends with Domenico and Gwen for 5 years and have gone to their home in Portofino every summer. They've always rolled out the red carpet, and my whole experience with them with our wedding. He really made me feel so comfortable and really special. So we have a really personal relationship, Kourtney explains as Domenico and Gwen both leave. Family friend Simon Huck asks Kourtney about doing press for Lemme during their upcoming trip to New York City.